You know what the crazy thing is? All of the things that say Israel and Alex have, you have as well. They don't have anything that's particularly special about them. The only thing that they've done that you haven't is that they've established a very, very clear vision in their mind. And they've said, yes, I want to achieve this. And they've come up with a game plan with how they consistently can do that, not just for days, months, but for years. And that last little bit when we're in the sauna, there's something that happens with Israel. Something that happens in his eyes, and he becomes this different person. Every single time he like looks up, he's coming out. This guy's coming out. Whatever he's going through, it grows. It's like this physical change, and he starts talking in his native language, and the music he plays is different. He's gone from being this person that has just done this fight camp and is cutting weight into he is the last style bender, and he's got to fight for this world championship.
Gypsy.
For someone like Israel, he is like African, has like his ancestors, and the way that like his people evolved is extremely different to the way that Volk's ancestors evolved, and the foods that were available to them, and the way that, you know, like, because like you said, you kind of are what you eat, right? So yeah, it would make sense to me that there's like a very different thing that would make them tick.
Yeah, and it just, even the basic
but
thing
culturally is interesting too, like the way that Israel would want to eat, and the types of, it's not even thinking about like the types of foods that make him tick in terms of like physiologically, but also like emotionally, spiritually, like that there's so much in it.
Yeah, and I mean, Israel's probably the worst example to use here, because Israel is quite possibly the most special, I'm not even going to say athlete, I'm going to say human period.
Fuck, he's a G, bro.
I've ever met. And it's just because he has just got this mental aptitude and this spiritual aptitude that
I get goosebumps thinking about
no one else has. Like, I've been in rooms with Israel, and I've got a very interesting insight to this, because I know his mental skills coach really well. I know his sports psychologist really well. I know that the Israel, when he goes through this, yes, a huge part of this is Israel, and he has this natural ability, and he's always had this vision where he's been able to see this person that he wants to be, but he's also been extremely smart to put himself around these other people so he can enhance these abilities and get them to the absolute peak. And you see this, and his mental skills coach teaches him these things. There's a saying that he always says, respond, don't react.
Yeah.
And it's always, you just need to be calm under pressure. And Dave Wood, he's one of the best in New Zealand about this. He goes on about this all the time, and I've seen it. The results are insane, and Israel personifies them. He says when he lost to Pereira, just calm. Calm. You respond, you don't react. Think about it. And when he's in his fights, and when you talk to him, you can see his persona. He's like that. And I guess persona is an interesting word for him, because he's built different personas for the person he has to be for different situations. And I've always talked about, when we're cutting weight, Israel, and I've spoken to Israel about it, he's not even consciously aware that he's doing this. And over the years, I've described it as Israel becoming style bender. Where it's this last pit of this camp. He's gone through this grueling fight camp. We've dieted that week. He cuts a lot of weight. If you've never met Israel, he's huge. People think he's massive, and he's built. So he cuts a lot of weight. And in that process, in that last little bit when we're in the sauna, there's something that happens with Israel. Something that happens in his eyes, and he becomes this different person. Every single time he like looks up, it's like he's coming out. This guy's coming out, whatever he's going through, and it grows. It's like this physical change, and he starts talking in his native language, and the music he plays is different. And you can tell that he's gone from being this person that has just done this fight camp and is cutting weight into he is the last style bender, and he's got to fight for this world championship. And he's got to defend it with every little thing that he's got. And he's not even consciously aware that he's doing it. And it's the most incredible thing to see, because then he's that person for the next 36 hours. And then he goes out, and then after the fight,
just back to,
he sheds it, and he comes back to Israel. And then we go to the after party, and we start chatting, and then Izzy's back. And it's the most incredible thing. And I've noticed that all of these guys do that. Alex does this, Kai does this, Leon does this, all in their own way, but they have these little personas that they come in, and these different parts that they can elevate themselves. It's like They become the person they need to be to take care of the job they need to get done.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to see because it's just they're so elite at the mental game, and I would even say the spiritual game because that plays into it so much.
Yeah.
And again, if I'm looking at this from the outside where I am, I'm sitting there going, oh my God, like, again, being in the time chamber, seeing these guys, this is things you see with like elite level teams and CEOs and over again. They can bring this out of people. Like top level CEOs bring this out of people in their team.
Yeah.
They create this environment, this system, which makes people become the highest version of themselves. Yeah. That brings out the best in them. And then it's just a game of how do I create this team where everyone's becoming the best version of themselves and we're all going towards this one goal. Yeah. Which is ultimately, that's what fighting is, right? Like Israel's part of a team and they're all going to be the best MMA gym, the best MMA fighters in the world. And they've just that mental and spiritual side of that. They're just so elite at. Don't get me wrong, they're great athletes.
Yeah, but that's such a small part of it.
And that is such a huge part of it, this mental and spiritual side of it. Yeah. And it's just so elite, and seeing it in person is just, you could never ever question why Israel is so great. Like, once you see that, I get it. Yeah. I get why this guy is literally the best in the world at what he does. Yeah. Because no one else does that like him. Because it's not a thing we talk about. You don't talk about that in high performance and sport. It's even like for guys, you don't talk about it. You don't get involved. I've seen Israel break down in tears when we're cutting weight. He's just like, I'm so grateful. Yeah. I'm so grateful to be here. I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm with all you guys. Thank you all. It's like, what? You're the world champion. What are you talking about? We've got to cut weight, get back in the sauna. Yeah. But it's like, he's just this.
He's so there. So present.
Yeah, he's so present. Yeah. And again, a lot of that is Israel. Like a lot of that's an innate ability, but he's smart enough.
Oh, but he spent years cultivating that, bro.
And putting himself around the best people to help him bring that out. And then bring it out and then teach him how to use it and tap into it and come in and out of it. It's incredible to see.
Is this it? This is a bit? Yeah. Is it? Yeah, okay.
That gym was crazy, eh? Where was it? It had a Ferrari in the middle of it, or a Bugatti or something in Miami.
All right, I want to see this particular. Yeah, here we go. This might be it. Look at the fucking intensity in the dude. Look, that exactly how he does that shit in the octagon, man.
Yeah, because he's rehearsed it in his mind 1,000 times.
But like everyone's just kind of chilling, you know, like just to have that presence, like to be able to like cultivate that presence. And if anyone's like a meditator, you know, like you sit down and then there's like the initial stage where you're like, oh, okay, I'm meditating now. Like I've got X, Y, Z to do it. Like there's that initial point, or maybe the same where you're running before you hit that runner's high where you're not really feeling anything. You just kind of before you get to that moment, you know, like for Israel, it's like the other people in the room to have that level where like you're centering in and nothing else exists. Like in that kind of moment, there's probably music playing, you're doing an interview, you know, like to have that in that moment, I think that's such a special, like unique skill. And to see the level at which he can replicate being in the gym and in this kind of completely different environment to then going out onto the biggest stage, one of the biggest sporting stages in the world, and to just do exactly the same thing. Like it's pretty special. Yeah,
it's a skill. That's what it is. And it's a skill he's elite at. But it's a skill, again, he's had an innate ability to do it, but he's been taught it. And I'm blowing a lot of smoke up Woody, but Dave does this with them. Yeah. Like you see these guys, and I talk about this a lot. I give Ice Bass a lot of crap. More so on the side of athletic performance,
like the actual physiological
benefits, like I'm not totally convinced, but ice baths,
neither's a science, bro.
Yeah, the ice baths are a phenomenal tool to train mentally, because that's what these guys, you see them in the ice bath all the time. Everyone's like, oh, they must be using them for recovery. No, they sleep and they eat and they do other things for their recovery. What they do in the ice bath is they train their body to be able to elicit a state of calm when you're in an environment of chaos. How do you do that? In the ice bath, there's no other I don't know other medium where immediately you're just in this extremely stressful, highly tense, chaotic environment where you got two options. You stay in or you get out. Yeah. And if you stay in, it's going to be cold. It's going to be very uncomfortable. It's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Then you have to train yourself.
What do you do in that moment?
Yeah.
And then it's like, there's so many ways you go. Do you just hyperventilate? Do you just tough it out? Do you just zone out? And you go, no, there's a whole system where you can hijack your nervous system to be okay with that. And it's not ignoring that you're freezing or that you're feeling this pain. It's that you just accept it.
And be present.
You got to be present with it, and you kick in this training. You kick in this system where we need to just hijack our central nervous system. We need to be calm.
Yeah.
I talk about it a lot with Kai Kara-France. He's really, really good at this, and he just fought a couple weekends ago.
Tough decision loss.
Tough decision.
Yeah,
Probably
real tough.
Don't agree with it, but that's sport. But it's like Kai in that third round was stuck in a pretty deep rear naked, and that's happened to him 2 other times in his career. There was another time where we were in Vegas. He was caught in a rear naked for 4.5 minutes of the round. 4.5 and deep, body triangle on, rolling around, and then 4 minutes 35 stood up. By 4 minutes 45, he'd knocked the guy out. And then there's another one where we fought a wrestler in Columbus, I think, just ragdolled him on his back for 3 minutes, but he got out every time. And you talk to him about it, and you go, what's going through your mind? He goes, not much. I just stay calm.
Yeah.
I'm just calm. And he goes, because at the end of the day, the way that he gets me and he taps me out is if I make a mistake.
Yeah.
And if I make a mistake, that's because I was stressed out and I didn't think clearly. So the most important thing for me in those situations is I need to stay calm. I just need to think. I just need to fight those hands, because he's not going to get it on me. Like, he's not that high level where he can force a mistake out of me. I'm still defending. I just got to be calm.
Yeah.
And you just see it in him. It's so deep. It's in there. And he's like, I've got a little bit of space. I can breathe. I'm used to being in these ice baths. I'm used to being in the rough ocean that Woody throws us in. That's waves throwing us. I'm used to holding the kettlebell and being at the bottom of the pool.
Yeah.
Not having any oxygen in my body. But I can stay calm.
Yeah.
I can stay calm and I can think. And again, that's like we see that with all sports. Like in the ultra endurance world, that's the most telltale sign if someone's successful or not.
Yeah.
You're 18 hours deep, you're depleted, you feel terrible, but you can stay calm.
Yeah.
Everything hurts, but you can still stay calm. And all that is hijacking that system.
Yeah.
And it's something you train, and that's what the ice bath is so powerful. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, like, if you feel sore, jump in there, but I think that's wasted time.
Yeah.
If you're going to submerge your whole body in freezing cold ice, which sucks, I don't care what anyone says, like, you don't enjoy it, it sucks. Train that system, because that's going to be so much more profound, and you don't even have to be a top level athlete. It's like when you're driving. Like today, I was late 30 minutes late, and it's like you're sitting there and you're like looking at the traffic. It's like, man, I can't control that this guy just had an accident. Like, I hope everyone's okay. Like, I can't control. The only thing I can control, I'll message Jace and say, hey man, sorry, like, I'm going to be 30 minutes late. Like, Jace is going to be cool. And it's like, I'm not going to let that accident impede on the fact that we're going to have great conversation for a couple of hours, and that now I get an extra 30 minutes. I get to sit with myself and with my own thoughts, and I get to be calm and quiet, which I don't really get in my everyday life. I get to be calm. It's like, but that all comes from training your mind in these like stressful situations. That's again like Israel, expert at Kai, expert. It's because they've trained it. And again, like coming back, if we're talking about like health, these are all the things you need to talk to people about when we're talking about changing the habits. Like, you would have seen it when you started running, man. Like, the running probably wasn't that hard for you, but mentally, running's really freaking hard.
Yeah.
It's boring. It's repetitive. It's like, it's not that exciting. Jiu-jitsu to me is exciting. I love going back to jiu-jitsu. It's like so many things going, but running, it's just like, it's boring, but it's like, it's okay. It is what it is. Like, I'm here. You need to stay calm. I've got hour, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours of this. It is what it is. This is it. Like, I'm here. I'm here.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.